Currently, it's 4 years. Cool. All right. So, is my YouTube live? Public. Cool. All right. My YouTube should be live once more. All right. YouTube, what's going on? Missed the whole spiel. Live on Instagram or TikTok and YouTube at the same time. For those of you who are on TikTok that watch my content and it's been helpful, I highly recommend just a plug on my YouTube channel. If you want more long form content, because obviously on TikTok I can only share with you like a minute snippets at a time. But if you want to see more stuff behind the scene, or my journey as to how I went from 200 to 140K, now it's maybe at $250,000, in terms of how much money I've made while active duty in the military. I highly recommend checking it out. Link in the bio of TikTok, being able to see my YouTube channel. YouTube guys, what's going on? Long time no speak, really, because lately I've just been like super busy with all the different things that I have going on. Decided to just go live and say hi to you guys. Stella, what's going on? Do you know anything about the SkillBridge program? Bushu bedroom. Yeah, I know enough where, so for example, I have one more year left in the military right now in the Navy. And one of the things that I can apply for is a SkillBridge program. Basically, I'm still contracted in the military, but I'm not active duty in the military. It's one of those where, being in the military for X amount of years, you need a time of transition. One of that time is the SkillBridge program. So I can get out of the military technically 6 months earlier. I'm still on the contract with the military, right? But it's more of an internship, paid internship with certain companies that have partnered up with the military, where it helps a service member make that transition from military to corporate to civilian life. There's SkillBridge program websites. If you make a LinkedIn profile, like I have like SkillBridge people like contacting me all the time on LinkedIn. It's just like, for me, it's not something that I'm interested in, and I'm probably not going to pursue. But that's basically what it is. There's different fields within it. It's all really depends on what you want to do. I don't know the exact details as to what type of programs there are out there, but in essence, that's basically how it works. It's just designed to help service members transition, and up to 6 months. If maybe there's a more, but as far as I know, which I could be wrong in terms of duration, it's basically like 6 months. Did that help? So in terms of getting to your like first 100K, um, at least the way I did it, like there's multiple ways you can make 100K. Like I know a guy right now where he works the military on a daily basis. After his day in the military, he goes and does like Grubhub and like Instacart, and he's able to make probably about like he told me I forgot exactly what the number is, but he makes like $200 a day on Grubhub and like Instacart and Ubering, and so he does that on a weekly basis, and he does it on the weekends too. So he racks in just from like Grubhub and Uber and Instacart alone, right about like $1,500 on a weekly basis. And so in a month, I mean, he gets like $6,000. So like that's how he makes six figures a year from just pure hustling with like Grubhub, Instacart, and then the military. And luckily, where we are at, it's a very pretty slow tempo environment where people can have that freedom to, be able to get like a part-time job like he has. Um, so, but then it's not the most scalable thing because if you do the gig work while you're in the military, it's cool, but you're sacrificing your time for money, and you can't really ever get that back. It's not a scalable model. Like if you stop doing Uber or Grubhub or Instacart, like you're done, right? Your income flow is done. um, so that's one flaw to that like framework. One of the things that I personally did to get to my first 100K is investing in the stock market with the money that I made from the military. All I did was just save it and invest it, and I did that, repetitively for 5 years, and then I got to 140K. So that's one method. Another method, which got me to my second 100K, is I started a business. Um, I started a business. I contract myself out to different businesses and I build their sales process. So I developed that skill of developing sales processes, teams, and procedures. And so that is a scalable model because all I have to do is just like go in there and, within 6 months, I helped a company make like right about 600K. Like I didn't really keep track of how much I helped to make, but I helped to make that, and I took a commission. I took a 10% commission off that, or actually 15% commission off that. So that is one of those scalable models where if you develop a skill, right? I was able to develop the skill of sales and procedures, which helped me scale my income as well, which is what helped me ultimately break six figures for the first time while active duty in the military last year. And then like this year I calculated it, like I'm an E5 to 7 years in, but I'm making money equivalent to O6s. 06 20 years in the military. And so like that's the power of really developing a skill. It's the amount of money that you can make it just changes like that. um, what's your rate and where you're stationed? Or appreciate your feedback. I'm planning on doing SkillBridge when I'm close to the end of my contract. Yeah, man. Are you in like the Navy, Army, Air Force, or what? What's your rate? Okay, so when you say the word rate, it's probably because you're in the Navy. Because I don't think other services use um, other terms. I think it's mostly the Navy that uses the term rate. Because I know Army and Marine, they use MOS. But for me, I am a logistics specialist, and I'm currently stationed in a place called Pax River, Maryland. Like, it's funny. Um, in the Navy, stationed in Hawaii. Yeah, I've been to Pearl Harbor. I was walking around, went to the mall. It's like a lot of homeless people over there, which was pretty interesting. That I didn't think there was so many homeless people, but there are a lot of homeless people. Um, been in been in the Navy for a little over a year, and I'm also from Maryland. Oh, nice. Cool. What's your rate? But yeah, like it's crazy, right? Like here I am a logistics specialist, right? And what they have, what the best thing that the Navy has me doing is delivering parts. And on the side, uh, can you say I am Sofa King? You see, I had to like read it ahead of time because it's one of those play on words. Uh, L. Kim, what's going on, dude? I am aspiring to be a naval officer. Nice, nice. Why are you aspiring to be a naval officer, though? Uh, Adaisha Tamar. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, man. Hey, Yoon, I remember watching your videos before I joined, and I am now finishing my active duty contract and am in SkillBridge until I get out in December. Thank you so much for your videos. Nice, man. So many people asking for SkillBridge. SkillBridge on TikTok, SkillBridge on here. But congrats on finishing out your contract, man. I'm still in, unfortunately. Buck Lau, welcome back. Yeah, I'm still finishing out my contract. I got one more year left. I'm not going to do a SkillBridge. To me, it's just not worth it. At least in my position, not SkillBridge itself, but just for me, it's not worth it. But how was your 4 or 5 years that you've been in, man? Why no doctor yet? Nice. I'm a PS. I also didn't know that there's a lot of homeless people. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's like tents everywhere. Doctor, I'm just not interested in being a doctor. I'm not much of a, organ person where like operate on a person. I've never been to Hawaii before. I got stationed and it was my culture shock. Yeah, for sure. But I like it here. I consider myself lucky to be stationed in Hawaii. Yeah. Are you, I'm going to imagine you're in Pearl Harbor maybe. I come from a Navy family, and I'm a direct descendant of a Korean Admiral, Yi Sun Shin. Oh, cool, nice. So the Navy was always a prominent part of my family name. Nice, nice. Just got my congressional nomination for Naval Academy. Cool, congrats. 5 years. 5 years, not 100% bad. It's just not for me. I was in the Dwight D. Eisenhower for 206 day, no port. Yeah, I mean, I was. Luckily for me, we missed the Corona phase of it. But in 2019, we left April 1st, and we pulled back in port January sometime 2020, which then coronavirus hit. If I remember correctly, at that time it was the longest deployment on record at 295 days, and I don't know if any other like carriers broke it now, but 260-day no port. I mean that is pretty brutal because I think some ships they just pulled into like for example like Guam and they just couldn't get out because of COVID. So like they just docked and then people used internet and Wi-Fi to like ease the tensions a little bit. But then like I don't know if you were part of that crew. Yeah. So what's your advice for somebody that doesn't see themselves 20 years in the Navy? I want to make 6 figures once I get out of the Navy. Do you have any advice for that? Yeah. Develop a skill right now. And if you are not planning to do 20, but then you also want to like have a safety net just in case you want to do 20, is like, so for example, for me, right, I did 5 years on a ship, and while I was on the aircraft carrier, the only thing that I learned how to do was to invest in the stock market, which helped me get to my first 6 figures. Then I came to my shore command, and from 140K, I gave my parents 100K to buy a house, and then I had 40K left. And then I spent 2020, 2021, about 50K on hiring coaches and mentors to teach me sales, right? Mentorships, right? Like if you want to learn from multimillionaires, like you literally have to pay these people tens of thousands of dollars. That's exactly what I did. Because what I realized was the Navy pays me $3,000 on a monthly basis, base pay, right? As an E5. I don't count for BAH because I live in government housing. And I thought about it. I was like, okay, I can continue making $3,000 a month. And maybe as I rank up, I can make $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month. But that's going to take like another like 5 years, 6 years. It's not the sustainable model. And so I was like, okay, what's a skill I can develop where it's going to help me make like 6 figures a year? And in that journey, in that process, I came across some few mentors because I was in a very high level investment community because I paid $7,500 for a lifetime access to this investment community, and they were just happening to look for salespeople without any experience to make some extra cash, and I got in there, and then I worked my way up, made a lot of money, paid 50K. Learned from millionaires, and then now, fast forward, I mean, made 6 figures in sales, just talking to people, consulting, and building out different companies' sales process. And now I'm in a position, still in the military, making $10,000 a month. And I think so far this month, like to date, today's August 27th. I think I'm currently at like $6,500 without BH, no BAH, 6.5 in my bank account. And then I'll end the month as of right now in the current trajectory, 9.2 or 9.5, depending on where I kind of end. Like I'm living the life, right? So the point is, while you're at sea, you don't really have a lot of time. So do what you can, learn what you can. But when you transition to your shore command, that's really the time for you to like double down, like save money and invest into mentors, programs, whatever you need to do. That's exactly what I did. That's why exactly I preach it. That was a bug. And holy crap. Oh, shoot. You guys see that? It literally just like, that's crazy. That's literally crazy how it just like, okay, it's crazy. All right. So yeah, invest into programs, save money, grow your money, invest into mentorships and programs, and then make that transition. That's the only way. All right. While it lasted, how did you get into sales? Stalin, I just covered it. As a young adult, what would be the best advice for me to have a stable life in the military? It depends. Elkim, what does stable life in the military mean for you? Right? Because everybody has a different definition as to what stability means. For me, stability means like I'm going to work my ass off in the military so that when I get out of the military, I can relax and I can enjoy it. So like, for example, I've been running and hustling for the last 7 years, and I'm going to be doing that for another year. So the last 8 years I've been running and hustling, like being in this field, growing my net worth and my knowledge and business. And then after I get out, I'm going to be in a position where right now I'm part of an 8-figure company, right? And we're trying to scale that to 9 figures. And so like then I'm going to be really enjoying my life. So it really depends on what your definition of stability means. So I need some clarification on that. I managed to get a job making close to 6 figures. I'm still living at home. I should be able to save a lot in the next year. Would purchasing a house be smarter than investing in stock market? Buckle out. In my honest opinion, um, you gotta. For me, this is what I'm doing. Right, you gotta invest it on yourself, on your brain. You gotta invest it in your knowledge. Because I mean, you're only about to make 100K a year, right? Only 100K, right? So for me, like I'm only making like 100K a year. That's not a lot. It's not going to take me far. Like if I continue making six figures, 100K, right now it's okay, but like 5 years from now, it's not going to be okay with inflation, all that. Like 100K, it's basically next to nothing, and so you're gonna have to take that money and learn how to make, instead of 100K a year, 200K a year, 300K a year, 400K a year, 500K a year, right? And eventually build yourself up to $1 million a year. That's kind of what I'm doing. Because right now, this year, I'll end this year with another 100K, but like next year my goal is to make 200K, right? And so I'm going to invest whatever I need to do to continue on that path. And if I just continue on my path, instead of 200K, I'll make 300K, 400K, etc. And so yeah, instead of a house or a stock, because it's not worth it. It's more worth it if you invest it in yourself. Because like buckle out. Let's say right now you have 100K saved up and you decide to buy a house, right? Because this is just kind of the way I think. Let's say you have 100K saved up and you decide to buy a house for 300K. And now you have a 200K loan and you're going to pay that off for the next like 30 years, right? You could do that. And then every single month, you pay off just a little bit and then you pay off for the next 30 years. Something that you can do. Or, right, you can invest that 100K in your knowledge and figure out how you can make that 100K into 300K in the safest way possible. And stock market, you could do that in the stock market, but it's not the most scalable thing. It's not practical because coming from a stock market background, there's a lot of things that you just can't control in the stock market, right? Like right now, the whole economy thing, like you just can't control that, right? But if you develop the skill, whether it's learning how to sell online, whether it's learning how to start a business, e-com, Amazon, Shopify, whatever, right? If you develop a skill, that's something you can control and adapt to the market and be able to scale your income that way. And so to me, that's just more practical. And that's what I chose to do. Appreciate your advice, man. I'll take your words to heart and start taking actions. Bushu, that's absolutely, man. Like, appreciate you watching and consuming the content. And, because I've been around for 7 years, like I've seen where I'm originally from a YouTube channel. I'm a YouTuber. And so I highly recommend you follow some of my YouTube content because for those of you who guys are watching on TikTok, because I literally have people who come to me 5 years later and saying like, hey, I took your advice, got to 100K and did X, Y, and Z. And like, to me, like that's one of the most rewarding things. So highly recommend you subscribe to either my Instagram or my YouTube, where you get a lot more value. Is investing small caps more profitable than blue chip companies? Yep, it is. El Kim, I have a video about it. I could probably explain it to you as to exactly why in the whiteboard here. But yeah, small caps is profitable compared to more blue caps, depending on how you want to play it. I'm actually making more than my parents. Good. Hello, how much did you make as E1 yearly? On a monthly basis, the Oblivion, I made right about $1,400 as an E1 because I remember I saw my paycheck and I was making like $700. I was like, man, this sucks. So on a yearly basis, because you're only E1 for 9 months, I wasn't making a whole lot. Maybe like $14,000, $15,000. So yeah, I wasn't making a whole lot. In my opinion, if you were to purchase a house as an investment, have roommates, maybe look into house hacking, for example, buying a duplex, triplex. To me, like, yeah, I thought about the whole house hacking thing. Not worth it. It's just, I'd rather learn how to sell and just make $10,000 a month that way instead of like buying a house, a duplex, triplex, fourplex, and then like renting it out, having to deal with that. Not worth it. Buckle out if you can't find any of the single house. Save money. I would, but duplexes don't really exist where I live. 50-mile. Is joining the military worth it in 2022? Would you do it all over again? Wonder Pet. It depends, I would say, on what purpose you're deciding to join the military for. So if you are deciding to join the military for the purpose of, for example, let's say your pure intention is just money. You're joining the military just to be able to turn your life around financially. Then I would say it's not worth it. Because if you come in with the intention of like making, let's say, $10,000 a month, you're not going to get there. The military is not going to be able to provide that lifestyle for you until like you're 20 years in the military, right? Because the alternative is, if you are joining just for the money, the alternative is you can get a 4-year college degree, 5-year college degree in a field that's going to allow you to get a 6-figure job, right? That's a better path, in my opinion, compared to if you wanted to decide to join the military. But if you want to join the military for a level of transformational experience of who you are, you're not happy with who you are, you're not proud of who you are, and you want to become, for example, let's say a millionaire that's super fit and that's super disciplined, like Jocko Willink or some of these other famous guys, and you want to be able to transform yourself into that direction. I do genuinely think the military will help you because it does a little bit more than just give you just enough money. It gives you a level of discipline. It just gives you a level of thinking, a way of living, a level of structure that most people don't have in their life, where you can, make those steps into that direction. So in that sense, I would say it's worth joining. So it ultimately depends on what your pure intention is on the reason why you want to join, right? If that makes sense. Yeah, I was thinking about buying a townhouse or something. Buckle out, can you work from home? No, telework doesn't exist in my field. All right, what's the average price from the home? Exactly. I've gone from making 20K a few years ago to where I am now just from switching jobs. Yeah, buckle out. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you have, let's say, 100K, instead of buying a house, maybe you just reinvest it back into yourself, get a higher education. Or if you want to go to the educational route, you could. Or if you want to get another skill, right? To be able to, instead of 100K a year, get 150K a year, 200K a year, something that can jump your earning potential, to me, is more worth it than buying a house, right? Because like, this is exactly the dilemma that I had in the military, right? Like I can make $3,000 a month. Like think about it. Like, for me, this is what the most frustrating thing is, Bucklao. Like, it took me 5 freaking years, right, of saving, investing to get to my first $100,000. 5 years. But then at the end of 2020, early 2021, I invested 50K to learn business and mentorship from 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs. And they taught me how to make 6 figures in a year. And I didn't even try. It just so happened, because I enjoyed what I was doing in that field of sales. In 2021, I made 113K, right? Remember, it took me 5 years to save and invest to get to 140K, but it only took me 1 year in sales to get to 113K. So to me, it's just like, okay, I can continue to only make $3,000 a month Hustler University, I wouldn't say so. There's more better and reputable programs out there. Like for example, you can join my team's program. Like, I mean, we really have a good reputation. But like, yeah, it's just like investing into a skill is far better than just buying a house. And like, it's like, what would you rather do? Would you rather, if you were making 6 figures a year, continue making 6 figures a year and investing that money, or instead of that, learn how to make 200K a year and invest that money, 300K a year, invest that money, 400K a year, invest that money, 500K a year, invest that money. I'd rather scale my income and invest compared to just playing with what I got, which in the military, it's like $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year. It's just not worth it. So yeah, random question. Do you see yourself running a business in the future, Bucklau? Is it safe to invest in United States stocks as a beginner? Yeah. So Elkem, just so you know the difference, right? So if you're looking to invest into something safe, right? These are usually what's called mega caps, large cap, mega caps. Large caps is, I think, what qualifies a large cap is like $20 billion market cap and above. Mega cap is like $200 billion market cap and above. These are companies like Walmart, Starbucks, Target, Microsoft, Amazon, now Tesla. Like these are safe companies, right? But when the companies like this get to that level and it's that safe, there's not a lot of ways to grow in terms of like your investment. Like, for example, like right now, Amazon is $1 trillion company, right? Let's look at how much Amazon is worth. Amazon stock. So right now, Amazon is worth $1.3 trillion in terms of market cap, and the stock is at $130, right? So for Amazon to double in stock value as of right now, to get to $260 in stock price from $130, it would literally mean their market cap would have to double to $2.6 trillion. What that would mean is literally people would have to double the amount of money they spend on Amazon on a monthly basis. It would mean Amazon Prime, let's say it's like $100 a year, would have to increase to $200 a year because they have to justify that valuation. It would mean that if on average, let's say people spend $100 on Amazon, it would mean that they would have to spend $200 a day on Amazon or a week on Amazon, right? It would literally mean the amount of money that Amazon is making almost doubles for the stock price to double, right? So is that realistic to do in a year? Will Amazon get twice as big in a year? Probably not. There's not a lot of like multi-trillion-dollar companies out there. So the chances of Amazon doubling in stock price is not possible. And that's why it's safer, because the likelihood of them going down is not that high, but the likelihood of them going like super volatile up is not that high either. So they're going to have a steady increase to maybe from 1.3 trillion to 1.4 trillion, 1.5 trillion, maybe at the end of the year. And so like those incremental increases are what you're going to get in terms of your returns, incremental. But when you invest into something small, right? So for example, let's say Elkem, right? Let's say you have a company and your company is worth $1 million, right? And you have, let's say for the sake of this example, 1 million in shares, and they're all worth $1 each, and you have a company market cap. And then TikTok, I don't know if you're seeing this. Okay, you're seeing this, cool. So if you have a company that's worth $1 million, and let's say your company makes like 100K a month, your company generates revenue at 100K monthly basis. Right? Your company generates 100K on a monthly basis. You have a million shares. You have a million shares, and your market cap of your business, it's worth $1 million, right? So for you, if I'm an investor, I'm going to read your 10K, 10Q, participate in conference calls to see if your company from $1 million can go up to $10 million valuation, which is another word for like market cap, which means if your company is going to go 10x, it means you have to have a plan where you're going to increase the amount of money you make by almost a 10, right? Because it wouldn't make sense for me to invest into your company when you're going to hype it up that it's going to be worth 10 times more, but if your revenue is going to stay the same, right? And so if you can share with me some plans as to why your company is going to go from $100,000 a month to $1 million a month, which would then justify let's say a $10 million valuation, then yeah, if your shares are worth $1 each, now it's going to be worth $10 each. And that's kind of the power of a small cap company. That's why like Tesla really, really grew back when they did in 2019, 2020, because they were like a mid-cap company that grew into a $1 trillion market cap company, right? So like they went from like $30 billion or whatever it was, and then they were able to 30x, right? So whoever had $10,000 at that time were able to 30x to $300,000, right? That's exactly what the calculation is. And they were able to justify that with the amount of money that they made. All right. What is the best time to invest in a volatile market? Just invest into yourself. That's literally the best investment. Warren Buffett says it, right? The best investment you can make is in yourself. Because in the stock market, like the stock market is a transfer of wealth from people who know what they're doing to people who don't know what they're doing. Whenever you see, if you have a portfolio, let's say it's $10,000 and your portfolio goes up, right, to $11,000, that $1,000 just didn't get created. It means somebody else lost $1,000, right? So when you have a $10,000 portfolio, it goes to $11,000. It means somebody lost $1,000. But if you have a $10,000 portfolio and it went to $5,000, it means somebody else got the $5,000 that you lost. And so if you don't know what you're like, my best advice is if you're going to invest in the stock market, hire a coach, get somebody who can teach you how to invest, and like do that. That's going to be a better investment than you just like shooting your shot in the stock market and not really knowing what to do. Any advice on finding coaches? Not China. It really, whoever you can find that you deem reputable. There's a lot of bad coaches out there. There's a lot of fake programs out there. There's a lot of scams out there. So really doing a level of research where, let's say you're looking into for example, investing in the stock market type of field, right? Let's type it on YouTube, right? Like see who has programs out there. Like I've been involved in Jim Cramer's program. I've been involved in Jeremy from Financial Education's program. I've been involved in Investopedia's program. So like I've been in multiple different programs. Some are good, some are bad, some are worth it, some are not worth it. And the way I found my coaches is because I've just been following these guys for a very, very long time for them to earn my trust, depending on kind of what they say. Like, I'm not going to make a big investment decision just because I found this person in like a week, right? It just doesn't make any sense. Because you have to like make sure that number one, they have a solid following, and number two, some testimonials if possible, and number three, a level of proven results. Something like they should be able to explain to you in a way that you can understand, right? If they like say like, oh, just come into my program and I'll teach you everything, like it's like no, like that doesn't make any sense. Like how do I know if you're actually telling the truth? So it's like no, they should be able to give you a level of value in a way that you can understand. Because the only thing regarding like coaching, the only thing not China is in terms of the program, it's the same as what you can get on YouTube, what you can get on anywhere. The biggest difference in coaching is you get, for example, let's say you and I, you're my coaching client, you get my time. I can spend an hour with you to explain something to you. That's the biggest benefit of coaching, that you don't really get a customized experience when you watch a YouTube video, when you watch a TikTok video of an advice. You may have questions, right? So for example, like this is a question, like, how do I have any advice on finding coaches? You don't get a customized answer to your specific situation, depending on your background, depending on your, whatever it is that's going on in your life. That's where a coach is able to customize your situation, because a YouTube video is very cookie cutter, right? But not everybody has a cookie cutter situation. And so that's where a coach helps you build a customized plan for you to succeed. So yeah, whoever can help you understand that is going to be like the best thing that you can do. Mike V, what's going on? Thank you so much, man. Your advice helped me a lot. Giving me more clarity on my future plans. I hope you achieve your future plans, represent the Korean Americans. Thanks, man. Thanks, dude. Like my genuine hope is to be able to help people get to 100K. I've been able to help, I think, about 5 people that I've been able to verify personally, that I was able to help them get to their first 100K. And like guys, like getting to your first 100K, it's a very good experience. It just puts you in a very good spot. And so for me, being able to do that for 5 people, it's been worth it. And I did it for free, right? Like I just create YouTube videos and people watch it. You're getting out, right? Yep. 1 more year. 1 more year. Probably going to wrap it up here in the next 7 minutes. For those of you guys who are watching me on TikTok, highly recommend you follow me on Instagram to get some behind the scene content, as well as my YouTube channel, which people that I'm talking to right now, my YouTube channel and my Instagram can be found on the link in the bio of my profile. And are you officer or enlisted? I'm enlisted. I'm just an E5 that's making $10,000 a month while active duty in the military. And for those of you guys who are watching me on my YouTube, highly recommend you check out my Instagram. I'll actually plug it in here just in case. Because you guys on YouTube are able to get a level of support on Instagram from me as well. If you guys want to ever shoot me a private DM, I get like 20 DMs a day. I try to my best to help people. 10K a month. Yep. That's right now. That's exactly how much I get. Not from the military. The military only gives me like $3,000 a month. But while I'm in the military, I have a business that I was able to start. You can find the full scope of my story on some of my other TikTok videos or on my YouTube channel. I've documented my journey for the last 7 years on my YouTube channel, how I went from $200 to 140K to now whatever I do now. So yeah. All right, guys. Any final questions before I dip out here? What are your plans after the military? So right now I have a business, and I have a couple of business partners as well. We have a startup, and I'm going to be getting out next year in August 2023, and we're just going to scale our companies to company to 9 figures. So that's kind of my plans after the military or during the military. Even right now, we're still scaling the business. So I heard you mentioned coaching earlier. Do you currently coach, or do you have any recommendations? Michael, yeah, depending on what it is that you want to do. Um, I personally don't coach. I could. I don't coach. It's not worth it for me right now. Um, my team coaches. We teach people how to be a sales professional. We own the website closedeals.com, and we teach people how to be in sales. But in terms of whatever it is that you want to accomplish, if you want to be a rapper, if you want to be an artist, if you want to be a musician, whatever it is that you want to do, find somebody that's very, very well known and reputable in that field and see if they have a program. Um, I wouldn't say somebody who's on a hype, right? I wouldn't say somebody who you only know for a little bit, who doesn't seem like they have a very good reputation. Somebody who's been around the space for a very, very long time. You look at the reviews, people only have good things to say about them. And I'm sure there's always negative reviews here and there, so you have to always take those into account. But yeah, somebody who's been in the space for a very, very long time, I'd recommend find those people, learn from them, and see if they have any program where you can join. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Gonna peace out for the night. TikTok, YouTube. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me today, and talk to you guys later. Peace.